I'll tell you something. Till this moment, the majority of the people of the settlements in the north haven't been, returned, despite the presence of the occupation army there. But people in the south, they are trying very hard to return. A lot of them have returned, and if it wasn't for the Israeli strikes, everybody would have returned now and set up tents in the borders. So we have a will to live in our land, and they are trying, since the government let them stay here for 60 days and destroy what they haven't destroyed in the war. It's all part of the same plan to defeat our will to live, because we have much higher will to live than them, and because we keep inventing ways to live, so they just keep upping the level of oppression and upping the level of attacks.
Hey everybody, this is Laith Maroof from Free Palestine TV, and we are in Ansariye village between Sur and Saida on the coast of the Mediterranean. Before we continue with this report, I ask you to press the subscribe button on whatever social media platform you're watching this on, and to go to our website freepalestine.video to donate so we can continue bringing you these reports. We are here with the military analyst of Al Mayadeen Television, Ali Jazzini. Thank you very much for joining us once more. And we are at this, what looks now like a graveyard for heavy machinery, but it was a location for a private company that sells and rents these heavy machineries. And yesterday it was a target of Israeli attack. This is not the first time that the Zionists attack a warehouse for machinery, construction machinery. We had seen this near Dir Mimas, or Dir Syrian, where the municipality was gathering their heavy machineries that they own for reconstruction. And now this is a private company. Tell us about this, and why do you think the Israelis are attacking right now this location?
Well, hello first, and thank you for hosting me again. Actually, we made a tour here. First look about the location. It looks like any normal civilian location with civilian equipment that are used usually to excavate on for reconstruction. So, point is, we talked with the mayor here earlier. The point is that this hangar, there are two hangars. One of the hangars was already hit during the war, and you can see the rubble clearing efforts that
this is the
columns
of the building that was here.
Yeah, definitely. So from first look that we can see here is that it's just normal civilian equipment, that contrasting what the Israelis had claimed, which is the main point, that this is equipment that is being used to actually build military facilities and to dig tunnels and so on. None of these equipments are equipped with a drill hammer, the one that usually used to excavate, usually even can be used in civilian roles. But even that, it's just normal heads, just to remove the rubble. So it does indicate that with the ongoing efforts of the Americans, the Lebanese government, the Israelis themselves, to prevent people from reconstruction, because the Lebanese government, the Bank of Lebanon, Central Bank of Lebanon, is tightening any monetary exchange and any monetary transfer that would serve to actually rebuild. They have prevented Iranian flights from landing in the Beirut airport, out of fear of giving money. They even stopped some shipments of donations from the Iraqi people, for people here to rebuild. And even though the president promised $50 million for the rebuild effort coming from Iraq, it never arrived. So it all looks part of the same picture. Once everything else fails and people are trying to actually go back to their lives and rebuild their homes, let's just bomb the rebuilding equipment that are being used after everything fails. Civilian equipment, nothing. And we talked to one of the people here. They said they actually unloaded these equipment because they said that this facility also is being used to repair equipment that's being used to build military facilities. These equipment have been unloaded 10 days ago, after they were stuck in the customs for some time. They were new. They were being ready to be sold and transferred to various other retailers or companies and inside southern Lebanon, so they can we start reconstructing and go back to our lives. Apparently this is not allowed, even with the help of our government now that is conspiring against us at this exact moment.
So we heard obviously Trump and Barack and Ortega's and Lindsey Graham all talking about depopulating south of the Litani and turning it into a industrial zone and a casino zone and a tourism zone for Western tourists. And this cannot happen if the indigenous people of South Lebanon rebuild and remove back to their land. So clearly this is part of that effort to not allow the indigenous people to rebuild. So let's start talking about the attacks. What we're seeing, this is one of the missiles. It's huge, the hole. What can we learn from just looking at this scene of the explosion?
It does look like this was an industrial zone with a ground with cement, with
fortified
cement. Not like a lot of thickness, but the actual shell did penetrate, and the width of the shell does indicate that it's probably something between 100 and 200 kilograms of warhead, which is I think it's either Mk-81 or Mk-82 Israeli guided bombs. And like these holes, we can see around here multiple holes like that being scattered to cause the maximum amount of damage to equipment, which as you can see are all filled with holes, not only burning. It's really hard, I think, to actually try to salvage some of the
parts of this
machinery, and the damage is estimated at millions of dollars, and it's only a private company. It's not even belonging to any institution, even if they want to claim that this is...
There is no insurance that covers damage from war.
No, not at the moment. And even if they were, they wouldn't be paying the people here. Of course, the government is trying to suffocate us. They can, even if they wanted to claim that this belongs to any institution that remotely is related to the party, it's not. It's just a private person importing these to actually sell it to other firms to start the reconstruction. And none of it, I repeat, none of this has any drilling equipment whatsoever. It's just excavators used for normal reconstruction.
And this is the second hole for another missile.
Yeah.
And we can see these machineries. We were told this specific machine flew off its base, and landed there, and this is a few tons, if not 4 tons at least, the weight. So the explosion is huge.
Actually, yeah, because it has been separated also from the chassis with the chains, because the chassis is on the other side, and this is the excavator here.
This is another explosion, but this is from prior to this. This is during the war, when they destroyed the warehouse that was up here.
Yeah, this was. We have been told that this is from earlier, and
look, it's a smaller hole than the other one, so they must have used even smaller weapons then.
It depends, because I think no, because this older warehouse had also looks like it had lining of concrete, so that's why it will penetrate less. It doesn't indicate from what we can see here. While there the lining was even smaller, and here it doesn't have anything. It's just dirt. It was an outside area. This one. This was the hangar here, but this was an outside area where just they were lining up the excavators, so later they can be shipped to other companies that are private companies participating in the rebuilding efforts, and in all the areas of southern Lebanon. This is a central company. It's not a small company. This is a retailer that does sell excavators to the whole area around it. Maybe not all the south, but to a big extent. It's a big major contributor.
At least the western sector of the south, closer to the coast. Yeah. Each one of these machines is $300,000-$400,000, if not sometimes $500,000. Each one of these machines.
I don't know the exact number, but they're really expensive.
And they were new, just imported. This is not even used equipment that's been here for decades or something like that.
Yeah.
So the damage is in the losses.
Yeah,
Are in
we
the tens of millions of dollars.
we can say like it's tens of millions of dollars, I think. Either millions or tens of millions, like 20, 30 maybe, millions of dollars. It's
Here's
just-
another group of these machines and another one of those missiles craters. And we
this area is mainly, it looks like it's mainly for smaller equipment, for smaller sized equipment that are usually used in tighter areas where like the roads have been blocked, or like the other bigger vehicles cannot maneuver.
do you think this is a part of
No, I think
something?
no, I think it's an electrical engine belonging to one of the equipments here. I don't think it's a missile. It has like the copper wiring.
the explosion was so strong that we can see the cockpits of these excavators being detached from the body
Yeah.
of the excavators themselves. Wow. So we just now counted 3 of those
3
missiles
of those
there,
explosions, yeah.
and we're now moving into another section of the
Yeah,
warehouse.
because of the whole mess that was there, we cannot like get from one area to the other. We have to go around because they were lined and it was a connected area, but now everything is messed up all around.
We heard also that, of course, and we can see visibly here that the explosions and the shrapnel and the pieces that flew off from here damaged all these houses on the other side.
Yeah, you can look at it. It's like also there's diesel everywhere. There's like diesel and oil smell everywhere, and from what you can see, it's all metal shrapnel, so it really shreds. Like we can see the even the walls around, like the wall in here, you know, the other wall there is just like being peppered, but like shrapnels, you know.
We heard that there's some victims of this attack.
Yeah, there was a guy who, we talked to people from the area. They said like there was a guy yesterday who was rumored to have been killed. He was a Syrian refugee, Syrian worker working in the agricultural area around here. He used to live somewhere there. And some like also part of his family were injured. What happened is he was rumored to have been dead yesterday, but turned out to be alive. They were trying to operate, and they said his condition was stable. Until the next day, he just died, I think, from the loss of blood.
Yeah.
Or like trauma.
Let's go up this way. So he was and his family are not even on the lot.
No, not
that
even
was
on the site.
attacked,
They
but
bombed it because of the bombing. Like this is there are workers during the day, but they bombed it during the night. I think it was around 8-9 p.m. when they bombed it.
There's another crater here, but it seems like the machinery took the brunt of the
No,
attack.
I think this one is due to the maybe a shrapnel or like heavy equipment being thrown away by the shock, basically. This is we have been told that this is the repair area. So this facility didn't only like was used to actually sell equipment, but actually to service other equipment. We can see like small transporters there, tractors.
Tractors, yeah.
Smaller excavators.
Here's the actual missile that damaged all of this, and definitely because they're smaller machinery, they were thrown even further than the bigger machinery.
Yeah, no, it's very sad. No, I repeat, and again, not even one drill that they claim that is being used as a for military purposes. It's just like normal excavators and normal forklifts and tractors, agricultural tractors. We can see from the videos, our viewers can judge by themselves, you know, just look at it.
Yeah, there's not even the heads for jackhammering. You can see those heads that are extra that you can put on the machinery. Yeah. None of them are jackhammers for tunnel jigging. So there was a pile of tires. What's left of them here is just the wires inside the tires. There was a covered area here, a hangar.
Yeah, this is a storage hangar also. Like the area that was there was also without a roof. It was used to repair equipment and the outside. But this one is storage for spare parts also. You can see a lot of spare parts here being thrown away. There are some parts of the hangar that did stay on the other side, but we can see here that it has been totally wrecked. You know, the area, you can see the wheels, the equipment.
Wow.
Yeah, nothing is. I really doubt. Like, this is a power generator, because usually also usually here in the south, the same places that repair building equipment, they usually repair diesel generators,
which are basically an engine that's not connected to a machine.
No, yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Here we have hydraulic spare parts. Smell of diesel and oil everywhere, burning.
And do you think these warheads? There's another crater.
Yeah, I think there's a crater.
And there's a crater, we're told, up there, but we're not gonna get to it.
Yeah, because it's everything there is a mess. It's very hard to get there.
So do you think these warheads were uranium tipped?
No, I don't think so. It's like, because when you tip them like with hardened penetrators, usually the damage actually disperses less around. Here the idea of the Israelis is when they bomb such equipment is actually to shrapnel as much as possible. So it is in their interest to actually explode on the surface of the ground and not like inside, you know, to actually cause the maximum amount of dispersion of shrapnel. So usually when you tip the warhead with heavier stuff, it tends to like do less damage to the surrounding area. Here, it looks like that have been measured very precisely, like to cause the maximum amount of damage. So no equipment survives here.
So we heard for the first time in a while a published statement by Prime Minister Nawaf Salam condemning some attack by the Zionists, which is out of the ordinary for him, but it also had that same language about international law and international community and protection that hasn't worked for the Palestinians or the Lebanese in their whole history. So what can we take from this statement, even if we want to ridicule it?
The point is, it's really interesting that there's no like, you know, rhetoric. There was no language saying that we will do this and this and that if you continue to attack. Like, not even a promise, you know, to actually present, you know, a complaint to the United Nations. They didn't do that. Basically, the foreign ministry now is in the hands of the fascist Lebanese Forces Party, and they did issue like yesterday also a condemnation, but that was a first, I think. They did issue also first in the south, because they never condemned. Once they were in Beirut, a little bit of some of the airstrikes earlier, they did. But the point is that there was a very big scrutiny the other day when the Lebanese presidency account on Twitter actually issued a condemnation for the Israeli strike on against the UNIFIL, the United Nations forces. But during that day, when 4 people were killed, no words from the presidency. Everybody was insulting.
4 civilians, citizens of Lebanon, were killed, and he didn't condemn it. And 4, you know, sound, what do you call them? Grenades were thrown out of an FPTV. I said FPTV is Free Palestine TV is stronger than an FTV.
Inshallah.
But he condemned that threat to the United Nations UNIFIL forces.
I invite our public to try to imagine being a Lebanese citizens living in the south, and the presidency just looks at this point that it's just playing with us. You know, it's just doing it on purpose. Words do cost nothing. You know, you can just go ahead and condemn and say that you are wholeheartedly with the people of the south, even if you have certain political agenda on the side. You can do it, but they're not. So at this point, it's really hard not to imagine somebody that might say that this is working for your service. This is working for your service, and that's why you're happy about it.
So how about we compare it to this? We know that there's a margin of movement allowed in terms of speech for other Arab vassals, or Turkey as a vassal of the West. They're allowed to condemn the genocide in Palestine while they're actually supporting the genocide in their actions. But it seems that the government of Lebanon is not even allowed that margin of just talk condemnation of attacks on Lebanese people, even though that they're working with the Israelis.
I don't think this is from the U.S. They are even more royal than the king himself here. I don't
They're
think the U.S.
self-censoring.
Yeah, they're self-censoring at this point. The Pavlov dog, you know. So it's not like, I don't think the U.S. is gonna be even that, you know, pissed off if somebody like issued a condemnation. They do expect a certain type of dignity. Even like French officials during the 1920s did express their distrust and their, you know, they looked negatively at many officials here because they saw them as traitors. You know, the colonizer sometimes comes here and say like, okay, I'm gonna use you as my pawn, but I disrespect what are you doing? You are a traitor, you know. It's really funny if you read some of the French officials' notes that this is describing them like dogs and so on, you know, in the 20s. So it's kind of the same issue here with like, they self-censor and they call the embassy, you know, can we say this, can we say that? And sometimes like, they really yearn to be called the good boy, you know, and then like, so that's why you see them at not even trying to condemn, which is pragmatically doesn't make any sense. So you want to create a rift between the Lebanese resistance and its people in the south, but what they're doing is going against their interest by lobbying the people and, you know, with the resistance. So there was what do you call it? A poll the other day that was made by, that came after the Consultative Center's poll, which is being accused of being affiliated with the Hezbollah. But the fun part is like they came up with the same number. I need to remember.
Polling
it's like
of the Lebanese public.
Beirut International for Polling for Information. It's called the center. It's a non-partisan center, and they did came up with the same exact number. 58% of the Lebanese people refuse that the Lebanese, you know, resistance hand over its arms. And what the Nawaf Salam and Joseph Hahn are doing actually made a shocking result. 90% of the Shia population, 96% of the Shia population do refuse that. It's really funny. 59% of the Druze and like maybe 40 within the Sunni and Christian community, it was like kind of equal, 45, 46% on each side. So people do understand, despite the fact that, you know, even you see billboards going to Beirut, everybody's was the government decision, everybody's was paid by the UAE and Saudi, everybody knows the companies who do that. So people are not that stupid, you know. And this is gonna cause the country to go to chaos because this is just so disrespectful and so blatant, or the amount of despise they have against the people of the South, you know, not even bothering to actually visit and not even bothering to see how we live. They just don't want us alive, you know. You can, if your plan is to actually protect the people of the South, you can go ahead and go publicly on TV, listen, the condition is 1, 2, 3, we're trying to protect you and help you, but we need you to do this and this and that. You might disagree with it, you might see it as also being a traitor, but they're not even bothering to actually talk with the people of the South. They don't consider us as Lebanese citizen or part of the Lebanese community.
One last question, because we are kind of baking in the sun right now here. It's beautiful, but we're baking. This has happened second time in such large scale, destruction of this machinery.
So let's wait a sec.
And this is from the company, right?
Yeah, it's
the ad.
institution of Haj Adnan Kanyar and his sons, tractors, excavators, trucks,
and accessories.
Yeah, and like general maintenance. Yeah, this is just this is the so-called military facility they bombed. This is the military facility with an ad, you know, with an ad that's like publicly asking for man, this is bullshit, really.
Is there a bank of targets?
Yeah, that's literally
affected, so this is why they are doing this?
I think they're upping the ante. They're upping the level of pressure that they are applying to the Lebanese, you know, because...
So we should expect now, with this weak response from the government, that the Israelis will redo this again?
You see, they are surprised because they are, I'll tell you something. Till this moment, the majority of the people of the settlements in the north haven't been, you know, returned, despite the the presence of the occupation army there. But people in the south, they are trying very hard to return. A lot of them have returned. And if it wasn't for the Israeli strikes, everybody would have returned now and set up tents in the borders. So we have a will to live in our land. And they are trying, since the government let them like stay here for 60 days and destroy what they haven't destroyed in the war, it's all part of the same plan to defeat our will to live, because we have much higher will to live than them, and because we keep inventing ways to live, you know. So they just keep upping the level of oppression and upping the level of attacks, starting from bombing like stone presses, you know, that are being used to rebuild. They threatened the stone press in al-Khiyam the other day, and the army went there south of Litani and checked. It was just a stone press, you know, saying that you are helping Hezbollah. What the hell? It's just a stone press. Hezbollah doesn't even use stone presses, you know, normal like cinder blocks. And that's why they also, if it doesn't work of making us submit, they will try to hit something that is being used, you know, very far away from the borders, like 40 kilometers, I think 35 kilometers from the border here, an area that's been used to sell excavators to people to rebuild. So it's just a continuous, you know, effort to making us submit. And this, at the moment now, the government is in Beirut. The government is conspiring in Beirut right now, and they are they will approve the plan that the army will present to disarm the resistance gradually. But this is a very huge issue, because all the Hezbollah officials and even the Secretary General, Sheikh Naim Qasim, has already said that you are pushing us to the brink of disaster in Lebanon. Don't think that we will submit. There are a lot of leaks also that say that Saudi Arabia and Nawaf Salam do think that Hezbollah will not do anything, which is not true. They don't understand the mentality of the people here, because even some of the officials that are with the disarming of the resistance, like Walid Jumblat, later on said this is a submission. This is submission. This is surrender. There is nothing to it. Even like Barak was begging Netanyahu the other day, like, just give us something so we can present to the Lebanese. Even Aoun was saying, the president was saying to Barak, like, I asked you just for one thing. How can I go like and tell people to disarm if you can't offer me even one thing, man? Like, they don't. This is just submission, and the government is conspiring now and being a part of it, and they will rip what they saw, inshallah.
Well, with this bodes that the hostilities will continue. We don't know, obviously, what's going to happen in the next few days and week as the supposed plan comes from the military to disarm the resistance and how the resistance will respond. We're also expecting the speech by Sheikh Naim al-Qasim next Wednesday.
No, he will speak today at 5 p.m.
Today at 5 p.m. So it's clear that now his speeches are more often and more frequent, because the situation requires that directing from him. Ali Jazini, Al-Mayadeen military analyst, thank you very much for being with us today. I ask you all to press the subscribe button on whatever social media platform you're watching this on, and to go to our website, freepalestine.video, to donate so we can continue bringing you this content. Behind the camera is Hadi, and from me, Laith Marouf, we bid you all a free Palestine and a free Lebanon.